Respond to security risk situation. In this competency, you will learn the following. Identify security risk situation. Respond to security risk situation. Assist in review of the response to security risk situation. Identify security risk situation. There are many different types of security risk situations you may encounter while working in the security industry. As is the case with all aspects of your role, you must take in accordance your legislative and organizational requirements when responding to these situations. This could relate to the apprehension and powers of arrest, inspection of people and property, and complaint and dispute resolution procedures. When identifying a potential security risk, you must assess the situation for degree of risk to self, others, property, and premises. These situations can include bomb threats, people carrying weapons, persons with criminal intent, and violence. Your number one concern as a security officer should always be the safety of those you're being paid to protect, as well as yourself and your colleagues. Environmental factors such as crowds, weather, and time of day should be closely monitored for changes that may impact on a security risk situation. For example, a surge forward in a crowd at a rock concert has the potential to cause panic and injury amongst the crowd. It's up to you to be aware of these changes and do your best to control them. When implementing any control measures, consideration must always be given to your occupational health and safety requirements. Always keep these in mind when carrying out first aid, using and maintaining firearms, and transporting and storing dangerous goods. Some situations may escalate beyond the scope of your knowledge or authority. If you require assistance at any time from colleagues, your supervisor or emergency services personnel, be sure to request this in a timely manner before the situation has a chance to escalate further. You may need to act outside of your own role while you're waiting for assistance. However, this should not be done if it will jeopardize the safety of yourself and those around you. Respond to security risk situation. Before taking any action, you must determine the most appropriate response for the situation. While you may need to act quickly, it is important to know what action you will take to allow you to follow your organizational requirements. Depending on the situation, you may be required to evacuate a premises, isolate risk and restrain dangerous or violent persons. Any response taken must maximize the safety and security of yourself, others around you, the property and premises, and should always be carried out within the scope of your own role or responsibility. If you require assistance, request this from the necessary persons before taking any action. The situation may require you to use handcuffs, batons, or spray. If any equipment is required, it must be used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and organizational procedures. Do not operate any equipment if you are not skilled or qualified to use it. Communication is an important part of resolving conflicts and risk situations. Before resorting to physical action, try to resolve the matter verbally. Active listening, being non-judgmental, constructive feedback, and using plain English are all ways to help diffuse a difficult situation. In some cases, a violent or aggressive patron is simply looking to vent their frustration. Even if the issue is no fault of your own, try to empathize and apologize to the patron. This can sometimes be enough to resolve any issue. When communicating with colleagues, you may be required to use channels such as call signs, coded messages, and hand signals. These should all be made clear in your assignment instructions. However, if you're unsure, check with your supervisor. All details from any security risk situation at your workplace need to be documented and maintained. This may include feedback from customers and colleagues, witness accounts, and customer complaints. Assist in review of the response to security risk situation. Following all security risk situations at your workplace, you'll be required to participate in a review and debriefing process. This will help to determine the cause, response, and outcome of the situation and assess whether improvements can be made to any of these areas. This is also where the accuracy of the details you documented will be discussed and analysed. If you are required to give verbal observations, these must be done accurately and in a clear, concise, and constructive manner, referring to your incident notes where necessary. If there are any areas for improvement that come from the review and debrief sessions, these should be taken into consideration when carrying out tasks in the future. These may include improving response procedures and lowering the effects of stress. Your workplace will have specific documents and reports such as activity logs and incident reports that you must complete in the event of a security risk situation. It is your responsibility to complete these reports in a timely manner, using any appropriate format, style and structure. These must all be legible and completed in accordance with your organizational procedures. Throughout your career in the security officer industry, the effects of stress can take their toll on your physical well-being. Distraction, frustration, and increasing aggression are all signs that a person is becoming stressed. Whether it's yourself or a colleague, these effects need to be recognized before they have the chance to develop out of control. Here are some techniques to help manage these effects. Conscious use of personal recreational activity. Having some interest outside of work is a good way to blow off steam and take your mind away from work while you're not there. Informal exploration of incidents with team members. Sometimes it can help to simply talk about incidents that may affect stress levels in a relaxed environment while still at work. Counselling. If the effect of stress is beginning to have a significant impact on work performance and other areas of your life, it may be necessary to seek professional help from a counsellor. Your workplace may have a counselling service available. Check with your supervisor for more information.